everybody? Tom Olson here, back with day 4. Babe, we're already on day 4.
Woohoo!
Day 4 of our good success tips for a long, loving, lasting marriage. And what I can tell you is that me and my wife don't have a perfect marriage, and we're not perfect at any of these things that we are telling you. In fact, we're probably preaching to ourselves more than even to you, right?
Yes. I'll make sure Tom listens to these every
Yes,
day.
make sure I listen. Wait a minute. I think that was the slam, everybody. But again, marriage is something that we have to work at every single day. We have to continually push down pride and continually try to push up our spouse. And so today I'm going to go first. My wife said, you're going to go first today because I keep having to go first, right? So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go first. So today's tip that I have for everybody to have a long, loving, lasting marriage is to manage expectations. And in marriage, it's so easy sometimes, right? For me to have a certain expectation on my spouse, or for my spouse to have a certain expectation on me. And I do think it's important before you get married, to try to at least set some kind of expectations and try to ask the other people and create those expectations together. But as things progress, when you first get married, that husband might be like so happy to take out that garbage, right? And that wife may be like so happy to cook that meal for you. And these are just little things. These aren't even like the big things of life. But just thinking about those things in the way we run our lives every day, after you've been married for 10, 15, 20 years, sometimes, I'm not so excited about taking out the garbage. In fact, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get Zach to do it, our 6-year-old. And vice versa, I may have an expectation on my wife that she's going to be a certain way, act a certain way, say a certain thing, and we have to manage those expectations. And I think part of that managing of that expectation is just pushing down our own pride, because a lot of times, while the way we get upset, the reason why we get upset is because our own pride thinks that we should have something that we are not getting at the time. So do you have anything to say about that, Becky?
No.
No, not really?
No.
Okay, so she knows that she doesn't have any expectations on me.
That's
and
not true.
So this is why she has nothing to say. She's like, I'm a perfect angel, and I don't need to work
Because I'm working on this.
I don't need to work on this
I'm
at all.
working on this.
So we're all working on this.
Yes.
So it's a work in progress, and if that's you, that's okay. But know yourself and know the truth about it. Know the truth that hey, I do have this expectation about my spouse. I am expecting them, and instead of me just coming and talking about it and saying, hey, I wanted to know what you thought about this, or should we set up an expectation? Should there be an expectation that, hey, you do this, or this is how we live, or this, if you don't want to do something, or if you want your spouse not to do something around you, and you're okay with them doing it, but you just don't want it done around you, you should tell your spouse that, hey, I don't want you to do that around me. But, like for instance, a lot of guys may sit on their couch all Saturday and watch football, right?
Not Tom.
And not me now, but that was me at one point in our marriage, and I don't even know if that frustrated her or not. She never told me about that, but I think having that conversation about, hey, you spent the last 5 Saturdays on the couch. Do you think this Saturday maybe we could do something different?
Yep.
Or even like a date. We've talked about different, going on a date with your spouse. That expectation is important to be able to say, are we going to go on a marriage retreat this year? Are we going to do something to help our marriage this year? All those things I think are very important. Knowing your day with each other and communicating your days to each other is very important. The more time together that you can have and setting those new expectations. We do the same thing in business, right? Like if you have a morning huddle, you're going to set expectations that day. What happened yesterday? What do you need help with today? What are you going to get done today? What do you need help with? Why didn't things get done yesterday? And what are we doing to take care of them? And in marriage, it can be done the exact same way if we just don't get all emotional about it. So, Becky, what is your tip for the day?
My tip for the day is to pray with your spouse and for your spouse. And let's face it, this is probably a little challenging. I know I've heard many times from men in particular that they're kind of afraid or a little bit nervous of praying with their wife. And I know as a wife, it's something that shows great strength and encouragement to me when Tom prays with me. And on the other side, praying for your spouse. I was challenged greatly by a mentor who said they had a list of like 3 pages of specific things that they prayed for their spouse. So,
You shouldn't make a list because it might be like 20 pages.
well, I have it on my phone. It's just on my notepad on my phone of certain things that I pray for Tom in particular. And, Tom talked about managing your expectations, and this kind of goes hand in hand as we have expectations of what we want our spouse to be like. And one way to help that is to pray for them, just pray for certain things and with one another. And I think it brings great strength to the marriage when you pray for one another and with one another.
So it's kind of like, am I trusting myself? And do I want to be in control of everything? Or am I really trusting the one who has the power to be able to make change and to be able to make something or make the right thing happen? And actually it's kind of funny because that kind of goes along with one of my big things for the year this year is to trust God more. And what better way to trust God more than to leave those burdens at his feet and say, hey, these are the things I'm praying for. Please help in these areas. So that's really good. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Good Success tips on how to have a long-lasting, loving marriage today. And we can't wait to see you back here tomorrow. We hope you have a good success day.